Have you ever played a game that you thought, this is game of the year, but whenever you talk to other people about it, they say, huh? What's that game? Well, this is what it's like with Immortals Fenyx Rising. This game is game of the year for me. This is my favorite game I played all year. I haven't even fully completed it yet, but the game is great. I love it. There's only little minor details that I don't like, but overall it's amazing, and I'm going to be going over different categories. Those categories are my pre-release feelings, my initial thoughts as soon as I started the game, the gameplay mechanics, the story, the puzzles, the looting system, and then I'm going to give my overall thoughts at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for all of those points, and let's get started. So pre-release, I was very skeptical. I had seen one video, which this was whenever it was called Gods and Monsters, and I thought, okay, it looks alright. I don't really know, because it just feels like a Breath of the Wild clone, but then they put a bunch of Assassin's Creed Odyssey mechanics on it, which that is actually what the game is, but it's actually a great thing, because the formula of Breath of the Wild is something that is amazing. Lots of people love Breath of the Wild, and I think games like that need to continue on for the foreseeable future because it's a great system, and I think it has a lot of depth, and I think that it can be integrated into the future of RPGs. I thought the storyline was pretty cringy, which has to do with the storyline between Prometheus and Zeus with their talking. I thought Zeus was kind of a little dumb, I guess, with his wording. I didn't really like how he was humorous all the time, even in like serious situations. He was serious at some points, but most of the time he was not taking anything seriously, which at first was cringy, then it started to develop into like an it's okay thing. The gameplay mechanics are insane. I really love the physics in the game. That's probably my favorite thing out of the entire game, is like the physics of moving boxes and boulders and little pots and even lettuce, all kinds of stuff. It's really fun, and I think it's a great thing because a lot of games is just like, oh, you destroy this thing and it's just gone, but this you can like destroy anything, or you can pick up anything and things like stay there, or things are interactable more than most RPGs. The mobs are fun to fight. There's a decent amount of variety. There's like little shielded guys. There's people without shields. There's birds that fly. There's bears. There's minotaurs. There's wraiths or rats, whatever it is. There's all kinds of mobs, and they all have different functions, and they all are challenging in their own way, just depending on, oh, am I going to get swarmed by a bunch of soldiers, or am I going to get killed in like 2 shots by this minotaur? So it's very fun, it's very engaging, and there's a lot of diversity in the abilities. There's a ton of abilities in the game, and you can customize them however you want, just like Odyssey or the other Assassin's Creed games more recently. You can do whatever abilities you want to use, and it's pretty unique because there's a lot of abilities that I wouldn't have thought of, like Hephaestus' hammer. You get to use that and just destroy people. It does an insane amount of damage, and that's what I use the most, and it's really fun. The puzzles are an extremely engaging part of the game. I like to consider myself decently smart, and some of these have given me genuine trouble, and I've had to look it up for how to do them because there are tutorials online, and I've had to also ask my brother who has played through the game, and it's been pretty difficult, but it's very fun. There's lots of diversity in the puzzles. Like sometimes you have like a monster in the middle that you have to unchain, and you have to like make these boxes float and then push them a certain way, or like have air push them, or you have to memorize a pattern and you have to repeat that pattern, or you have to just fight things as you progress through it, or it's like actual parkour in of itself. It's actually really fun, and I think it's a great game, and I think the puzzles is probably the second best part besides the physics to go with the gameplay mechanics. And the puzzles, in my opinion, I think I could have unlimited puzzles and be fine. Some people don't like them, some people do like them, but I'm willing to do as many puzzles as I can because it's so engaging. The looting system is what I don't like. because there's so many chests in the game and there's so many types of loot. There's like 6 or something like that materials in the game, and it just gets overwhelming. And using Farsight is the most annoying thing in the game to me, because I have to physically hover over every single thing and then click a button to have it pop up on my map. And so I will literally just sit there for like 10 minutes spinning my mouse around trying to find every single thing so that I know where everything is at in the area, which I find annoying, but it also does encourage going out and exploring on your own without having to use those markers, which is a good thing. But I don't fully want to use that, because there are things that I don't spot and I randomly find, but I do want to see most things. My overall thoughts for this game is that it's a very underrated game. In my opinion, it's the game of the year for 2020. And there's a lot of games that came out in 2020. I think you've got like Valorant, Valhalla, obviously, a lot of the PS5 games and Xbox Series X games, all of those games. My favorite has to be Immortals Fenyx Rising. And it still feels like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey mixed together, but it's engaging, and I think the formula of Breath of the Wild is something that needs to continue on, and it's great to see it in another form, as in ancient Greece and Greek mythology. The story's decent. Go into it knowing that it's not going to be super serious. Prometheus is serious, but Zeus is not. And there's some funny moments, there's some serious moments, but it's more of a lighthearted game overall. The combat is fun, the puzzles are engaging, and the gameplay mechanics are really good and diverse. So even if you look at this game and you say, oh, this is like a Breath of the Wild Assassin's Creed Odyssey clone, just look at it again and look at it as its own game, and it's great. So that's all I really wanted to say. Sorry for any stuttering or any of that. I just wanted to get this out because I didn't want to do too much editing, because this would have been way too long of a video if I wanted to edit every single little word I said. But with that said, thank you very much. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I've got more videos coming, and I'll see you all later.